Hello, my name is Professor Pate, and today I am going to demonstrate how to complete the initial setup of the cell phone design case study that you've been assigned for in this class. Once you have Open Project installed, you'll open it up from your desktop and you'll see this first screen. You can click Not to Show Tips on Startup and click Close. Click Create Project and type in a project name. And we'll just call this the cell phone case study. Now your project screen appears, and this is where you will enter in all of the task names, the duration, predecessors, etc. to get the setup completed. So we'll first start with overall product specifications. I prefer to work vertically rather than horizontally, and we will begin entering in these task IDs vertically. Notice that I'm putting supplier in front of these because we have hardware specifications in multiple task names. So I'm just adding in supplier rather than creating an additional milestone so that we know that this hardware specification task is associated with supplier specifications. Again, just a personal preference of way of working. Okay, so now we have all of the activities entered under name. The next thing that we want to do is input the duration of each activity. The duration of each activity has been given to you in days, so you can just simply, again, work vertically and input the number of days. So for overall product specifications, we know that's 20 days. Okay, and I'm just going to go straight through the line here and input these. Notice that the start and finish times, or at least the finish times at this point, are changing. We'll discuss that in a couple of moments. Okay, so now we've input the duration of each task, meaning, in other words, market research is going to take us 10 days. The next thing we want to do is set the predecessors. The predecessor is basically what task has to be completed before another task can be completed. We know that in order to complete this production process, we're not going to be able to complete all of these tasks at one time because one or the other might be dependent upon each other. They build upon each other. So that's where we set those predecessors. Which activity has to be completed before another activity can be started. Now, we have our own task IDs, P1, P2, P3, P4. Open Project and most project management software defaults to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Since we have our custom ID, we'll simply input by right-clicking on name and click Insert Column, and scroll all the way down to WBS, Work Breakdown Structure, and click OK. Now it gives us the opportunity to input our own work breakdown structure code. And what you're creating here is a work breakdown structure. All of the work, let's break it down into activities, duration, predecessors, etc. So what we can do now is simply input all of the task IDs for a specified activity that were given to us in the project. P1, P2, P3, P4, S1, S2, S3, D1, D2, So now that we have that, we know that we can input our predecessors. Okay. Now, most project management softwares defaults again to the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 task ID that the project software defaulted to. We know that we can input a 1 or a 2 or a 3 here, but we want it associated for ease of viewing, since most of the employees or workers in our organization that are working on this project are going to be more familiar with P1, P2, P3, P4. We know that we want to customize our predecessor field just like we customize our task ID field. So what we'll do here is we'll insert another column by right-clicking on predecessors, click Insert Column. We're going to go all the way down to WBS Predecessors. So we've chosen WBS before. Now we're going to select the WBS Predecessors field to link our predecessors to our WBS field or column. So now we can input our predecessors, but we need to do that using the defaulted task ID. Okay, so the way we'll do that, we know that since the predecessors were given to us, that hardware specifications must be completed, or cannot be completed, excuse me, until overall product specifications is completed. Overall product specifications does not have a predecessor, so we just leave it blank. We know that hardware specifications is dependent upon 1 or P1, so we can input 1. In the P1, the WBS predecessor automatically is filled in for us. Okay, as well, now rather than this task having the same start time as the task before it, because we've indicated that task number 2 cannot be completed until task number 1 is completed, the start date is automatically adjusted for us so that we won't start hardware specifications until overall product specifications is completed. So I'm going to go down straight through the line and input all of the predecessors. If you have multiple predecessors, simply input a comma in between them and the software will take care of it for you. Oops. Got to be careful when you're typing. One digit can throw off the entire project. So now that we've input our predecessors, we see that the start and finish time are automatically adjusted for us based upon what is dependent upon what. So we can now take a look, rather than manually calculating the start and finish time for the entire projects, and see that the start date is 2/6, which is the date that I typed this. The software is automatically going to default to the day you're working on, so you can manually adjust that if you wish, until November. So that is the setup that you will need to complete prior to answering the questions on the cell phone design case study for this course. I hope this video tutorial was very helpful to you, along with the teaching notes that I've made available to you. And always, if you have any questions, feel free to contact me. Thank you.